What's up, everybody? It's your boy Wings of Redemption. If you go ahead and pardon me and my colleague today, we're all both a little bit under the weather. Record flu season this year, and it's got us. It's got us.
Plague and pestilence.
Yeah, plague and pestilence. That's going to roll into our other series this week. But the number one topic is Slenderman.
I feel like we've been trolled this week.
It feel like Nessie again?
Yeah, Rick's fucking Nessie all over again. Come on, guys. Really, Nessie? No, what? Fucking Slenderman? Really? Hey, the people have spoken.
All right, but here's the thing with Slenderman. There is no question he is fake, because he started on a website called creepypasta.com, and he had a series of stories called Silence and Pretend. There's a series of stories that actually listed him, and then a group of young film developers made what you call the Marble Hornet movies. And during the Marble Hornet movies, they kind of predicted that Slenderman was like stalking them.
Yeah.
He almost had like that. What was the name of that movie they just came out with? That if you see the monster that steals children.
I must have missed that. There's a movie with this premise.
There's a movie with this premise. Yeah. If you see Slenderman, he's going to come get you at this point.
Oh, come on. You know what? That makes that makes it even worse. First of all, this fucking story is not even 5 years old. Slenderman isn't even. He's a toddler. He's not even 5 years old.
2003, didn't it?
I thought it was 2009.
Oh yeah.
Right.
But,
so yeah, we'll get into that. One of the things that they stole to make Slenderman goes back to 2003, but Slenderman actually being referred to by name and being put together on the Creepypasta site, that was 2009. I think it was June of 2009. So, I mean, this is fresh bullshit. This is fresh, sticky bullshit. So this is interesting because I guess you guys just want us to, I don't know, maybe you guys want us to speculate what it would be like, or, I mean, I think the most interesting thing about Slenderman, we'll get into it in a little bit, was the YouTubers jumping on the Slenderman bandwagon. But yeah, I mean, maybe people don't know though, like, I guess that's the thing, like, maybe a lot of the people who want us to talk about it just honestly didn't know, like, what the fuck is Slenderman? So I guess it was our job to find out about it. Didn't take too long to research this one though, did it?
But here's the thing. Let's just go and speculate for a while. Slenderman is a cool character. He's a cool mythos. He's like Jeepers Creepers or Jason Voorhees.
He's a boogeyman.
He's a boogeyman. That's what he is. I mean, needless to say, he's the boogeyman version of Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four, but he's still a boogeyman.
Fucking Hanna-Barbera bullshit.
Yeah. I remember there was a doll from the early 90s called Stretch Armstrong.
Yep, I remember that.
He was like a bodybuilder that you could like pull his muscles and like stretch his arms way on out.
Yeah.
And like when I first seen Slenderman, it was like this. It like you just made a comment about the people jumping on the Slenderman bandwagon.
Yes.
I did a Slenderman video.
You did one?
I did do one. I had to make that Slenderman money. I did.
Yeah, give me that Slenderman money.
And like my Slenderman video lasted 45 minutes because I recorded the entire session. My first playthrough, my legitimate first playthrough, and like I kind of cheated because I watched a couple other people play it, and like you could kind of tell that they were trying to get caught as hard as they humanly could just to give that fake reaction to it.
Right. Yeah, well, that was the whole thing with it. It was like, it wasn't about the game, it was about watching your favorite YouTuber fake being scared and running into it. But you know what, that game's... I watched one video and I sort of scratched my head. I remember it was like a Saturday morning and I got done like working and I was like, what is all this shit in my sub box? Slenderman. It was like, the community is. Everybody just, oh shit, somebody made some money off this video, I'm going to do it too, which, you can't blame people. But I watched it and I was like, okay, yeah, all right. Not really much to that game, is there? I mean, you walk around and you look for pieces of paper, and then if you find the pieces of paper, it's game over. You should be able to fight him or throw some rocks at him.
There is an artificial timer by your flashlight battery. Apparently, your battery on your flashlight lasts like 15 minutes or some bullshit.
Oh, and you gotta finish it by then.
No, well, you can walk around in the dark. That's what happened to me. But after 15 minutes of it, I was walking around in the dark. See, the coding's very bad on the game, and I realized this in watching other people play it. So as long as you don't turn around, Slenderman doesn't spawn.
Oh, so as long as you never look behind you, you'll never see him?
Right.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I realized that in the game, and like the way I got killed or got caught, because if you're like me, I like to play the game to fucking win. I'm that kind of guy. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna try to do it right.
Yeah.
And like my light was out, and I hit a tree, and it moved my character just enough so it considered.
Did you scream?
It was a legitimate scream though. It wasn't like one of those.
Right. Well, that was what people were.
It was like, oh shit, that kind of thing. Because I wasn't ready for it. Because I didn't think I turned around.
You should be able to like just run at him and jump on him and beat the shit out of him. But I guess in the game you're a girl, right?
Yeah, you're a girl, but girls can beat him up. Look at the Alien movies.
He has no face.
So you're not gonna get black eyes.
Ripley was badass.
Yeah, Ripley was a badass.
She was badass. How about in Resurrection when she was like 8 feet tall?
And she had like the regenerative powers of the aliens and stuff.
Yeah, she was like half alien and she was a crazy ass bitch. But anyway, so Slenderman, it was created on Creepypasta. It was a short story and they put it together, and then what happened was they borrowed one of the things that they borrowed to make up this character. It came from this game called it like Chizo Mythos or something. 2003, it was like an adventure game for PC or something. And there's this character who's like this 8-foot tall dude with a big like black leather trench coat and no face, with this like big bloody axe who chases around the main character all the time. So it's a pretty blatant ripoff of that. From people wondering like, well, who came up with this or whatever. But what they did was they combined it with, a creepy boogeyman type who goes after kids and makes you go insane and stuff like that. And I guess that, that part of it's pretty interesting.
Mr. Anderson.
Yeah, right. Agent Smith. Right, that's what it looks like. It's like Agent Smith because remember how Agent Smith could be all gooey and he could basically do whatever he wants.
He's omnipotent. He's like a god inside the Matrix, and that's what Slenderman specifically is. He's Mr. Anderson.
Yeah. When I was
Smith.
When I was little, I remember thinking about the boogeyman, and I took it a little too literally, and I thought that the boogeyman was actually this like scary guy who basically would kill you by filling your mouth and lungs with snot, so that you would just like die of snot. So
are you thinking like the boogeyman from like the book of the monsters on the island, where like he's this big hairy thing with a big nose?
No, I remember being really afraid of the concept of the boogeyman. I don't know, I was probably like 6 or 7, and I thought it was. I don't remember really what he looked like. It wasn't so much what he looked like. It was he filled me with snot, and I couldn't breathe, and I died basically of just my lungs and mouth and throat just being filled up with, thick, that yellow meat. When you're really sick, you get an infection, that thick yellow shit.
Snot.
Oh yeah, like just, like opening your mouth and just, snot everywhere and just dying of snot, death by snot.
Let me ask you this, since you were so afraid of the boogeyman killing you with snot, what do you think that has to be a slow process?
That would suck.
But wouldn't you be able to scream loud enough for your parents to come rescue you?
How do you scream when your whole lungs and throat are filled with snot? You'd be like...
Does he like auto-inject you with like a stem pack full of snot or something?
He basically would shoot snot and just like fill your fucking cavities with snot.
I have to ask because other people ask you, how did you come across this method of death?
Dude, I don't know. I'm weird. I don't know. I was like 7. I took
it subliminally hit Mr. Small Chaos Math and yep, snot monster.
I took it really. It might have been a dream. Like I'm one of those people who remembers all their dreams. Well, I'm not going to say all of them because that's impossible. But you know what I mean. Like I wake up and I remember what I dreamt about that night, and I still remember some dreams I had when I was like 6 or 7.
So it was reoccurring?
No, it wasn't a reoccurring dream, but I remember having a dream where, and I didn't see him. I just knew that he was in the room, and he filled me up with snot, and I died of snot.
All right, here's the question.
Maybe I had a bad cold that month or something. I don't know.
Here's the question. You're a father. I've tried my hand at fathering other kids, and
yeah, I'm a dad. Yep, got 2 kids.
Have they made their boogeyman up yet?
No. I mean, my son's 5.5, and my daughter's just 2.5. So not yet. They haven't had a chance to yet. Nope. All that shit's coming down the road, a couple of years away, but not yet.
They haven't got to that point. Are you kind of like sheltering them from the Slender Man and stuff?
I try to keep them off the internet. Mario is about, I don't know, I guess maybe it would have to be.
Bowser can give you nightmares.
Bowser pretty fucking scary, especially in the new ones where he yells and like the whole screen shakes. He gets pretty butthurt. So maybe Bowser would, my son told me that he had a nightmare that he jumped off of a really high place, but so far there hasn't been a character yet that scared him. You know what? Oh shit, dude. As I'm telling you, I just remembered this dream that I had. It's like one of the earliest dreams I had, which actually is kind of similar to that stupid guy that they borrowed for Slender Man. I remember in the living room, you know how sometimes if you have those vertical blinds and they're open just a little bit, you get that sort of like rectangle, these little lines of light that come through.
Yeah.
And there was this I'm not going to say like a Ku Klux Klan outfit, because it wasn't. I didn't even know what that was. I was like fucking 6, but it was like a cone sort of, just robes with maybe it was like a wizard hat is where my brain got it when it made the dream up. But it was all in black, and the guy was just fucking staring at me. And when you're 6, something like that's really scary. And I knew I was fucked. I knew I was dead. I didn't know how I was going to die, but it was, no dream where you're just like, yeah, I'm dead. I'm dead. Boogeyman, dude. That was my boogeyman when I was litter. So
you had a snot monster and a grand wizard from the Ku Klux Klan.
A grand wizard. Yeah, no, I'm white, so I guess I shouldn't have been afraid of that. But that's going to a completely other place. But no, I guess if you were little and you saw Slenderman, that would scare the shit out of me now. Think about that. Like a faceless dude, like who's in the. The fake pictures that they photoshopped where he's like in the background of the playground. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that does look pretty creepy. If you were a kid, I bet that would really scare the shit out of you.
There's only been one thing I've ever been scared of in my life, like mythos based. I can't really say mythologies right now.
Mythological?
Mythological, yeah. It's kind of like a local tale. And I used to do what you call raccoon hunting or coon hunting, and you got to do that at night. The reason you do that at night because they're nocturnal animals, mainly.
Yeah, they're not out. They're not out.
And
right?
you basically you take dogs and you go deep in the woods and you basically tree them, and you shine lights up in there. Well, I went with my stepfather one time, and we basically got a coon. We got him treed, but he went up a tree. Like the tree was hollow, and he went inside the tree and went up. And he kind of like hid inside the husk of the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we didn't. All we had was the .22 long rifle with us, so they had to go back to the truck and get the small .22 pistol to get up inside the tree to get the raccoon.
And you stayed at the tree? And
I had to stay at the tree with the dogs.
Okay.
So I'm here with the 2 dogs, pitch black around. All I have is a flashlight, deep in the woods. If I had to get out by myself, I couldn't do it.
How old were you?
This is 23, 24.
Oh, okay. I thought you were I was going to say 7 or 8.
Yeah, and that's in that situation. That's when your mind starts to play tricks on you because you're in the woods, you're in like a wild habitat.
Yeah.
And the only thing I was afraid of then was the light. Well, around here they have what you call a wandering light, and everybody who's ever been into the woods has seen the wandering light. It's always at the edge of the trees. You go boop 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 boop. You can see it dart in between trees, and you've always been told you never let that light find you. Or it'll never be found again.
This is like a local legend?
Yeah, the wandering light. Yeah, it's supposed to be wandering. It's just a light that wanders around in the woods. And
what is it? What is it supposed to be?
That's all the legend there is. Everybody, you can ask anybody in South Carolina about the wandering light, and they'll tell you about it.
Isn't there a I'm dating myself, and I'm going to reveal just how geeky I was when I was younger. But wasn't there some sort of D&D monster? Shit, it was something like Whippoorwill or something like that. I remember something in the Monster Manual. Monster Manual. If you know what the Monster Manual is,
I have one, and I don't want to pull it out to date myself.
Yeah, right. Pull out your deities and demigods.
What version do you need me to get?
I had the original Monster Manual.
I got one with Thaco and shit. I got like 1.0. Thaco, to hit armor class 0.
Hell yeah, dude. I know all about that shit, dude. Dude, I was playing D&D in 1982.
I started D&D in the early 2000s.
Yeah, I was like 7 years old. Like, when it was actually, there were no fucking really video games to play. It was like you just got together and who wanted to be the dungeon master?
D&D is still funner than video games to this day.
Well, at least it was cool for the imagination and stuff. I used to just draw dungeons on graph paper for fun. Just secret door. But anyway, there's some sort of D&D monster that was a light in the forest. So I wonder if there must be some sort of legend somewhere that stems from that obviously some people in South Carolina picked up on, or maybe that's where it's native to. I don't know, but that does ring a bell with me. I have heard of something like that before.
Yep. Nobody, you never see anybody ever get caught by the wandering light, but you always never get caught by it. And it's one of those things, like a light is easy to do, especially in like a panic state, because, if you close your eyes too hard and open them up, you got like those little lights popping out.
Right. Yeah, it's
that's probably where that comes from.
It's like electrical impulses in your eyes and stuff like, you can sort of
like
flash
your mind could create white spots and stuff like that, which you can be construed as light. But that's the only thing that's ever scared me, is that wandering light, because you do see that because of like the intense, situation that you put in.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, when you're in the woods at night, I remember when I was a teenager. It used to be like lots of parties out, and everybody usually probably has some sort of story like this where out in the woods somewhere there was like a place to get to where everybody would go and bring kegs and have parties and hang out and shit. And I remember like just going out there and hanging out there like at night and just to do it. And now I wouldn't do that. Like, I'm not gonna go out in the middle of the woods, all by myself in the middle of the night now. Like, I'd probably be more afraid to do it in my mid-30s than I would have as a teenager. You get scared going out in the woods by yourself.
You trying to say you used to like go out in the woods and just drink?
No, I didn't drink. I would just go out there and make a fire and just hang out and I don't know, look at the fucking sky. I don't know. There wasn't a lot to do. I grew up on Cape Cod and there weren't a lot of people around the area where I lived to hang out with, and there was this big area behind these buildings. It took you about 20 minutes of walking through the woods to get there. It was like, secret paths, and you had to go through a swamp, and there was this clearing, and there was this area where everyone used to party, and I knew where it was, and I had nothing to do. My parents, my mother worked 2 jobs, and my brother was a couple years older than me, so he was out hanging out with his friends, and I was bored. So I would just fucking walk out there and sit in the woods and think about song lyrics and plot my rise to metal stardom. And I would just sit out in this fort, and just hang out, build a fire.
I'll go to the pier.
Yeah, everybody. Well, it's funny. Everybody had some sort of place they used to go to. But thing is, I used to walk through the woods, and sometimes I would get kind of scared. But I would never fucking do that now. I would never do that now. I'd actually be too afraid to. It was just kind of funny.
You don't do that shit in South Carolina. We got these things called timber rattlers.
Oh, you got snakes out in the woods?
Well, not in the dead of winter. They hibernate. But the fact is, you get hit by one of them, you fucked up if you by yourself.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, I knowing what Slenderman is, like, if I was
he'd fuck with you even now, wouldn't he? Even though he's fake.
Well, it's just, that's the thing, is your mind would, start to fuck with you. But I guess what I'm doing is I'm putting myself in the shoes of somebody who's like, a teenager now and knows who that is. If I'm basically thinking, like, if I was that same Eric walking through the woods, but today, like, I would think about Slenderman and I'd probably be pretty fucking scared.
I was just thinking about, there's a second thing that scares me. Walking into your house after you woke up because you think somebody's there.
Oh, I had an experience like that where I was absolutely positive that there was a fucking ghost in the house, and I don't really even believe in ghosts, but my heart was like stopped, and I just, how you have like that third eye, that sort of sense where you can sense another like life force.
Yeah.
That somebody's like in the room. You could have headphones on, right? and your back is turned and somebody comes in the room and you just know it somehow. You just sense it. Whether it's a disturbance in the air or whatever it is, nobody can really explain how people know when somebody's close to them, but it's just a sort of innate ability that people have to sense other life forms near them. Well, the half of the problem is I was kind of fucked up, but I was laying in bed and I heard this in the kitchen. It sounded like, when somebody walks on the floor. And then I just got that feeling. I could feel that there was something outside the door, and I was just staring at the door, laying on my bed, petrified, unable to breathe or move, staring at the door, just waiting for something to come through that door. And it took me a good 15 minutes before I finally, it passed, and I just got up. And I had never been that afraid in my whole life.
That's why I have guns. I've been there.
Well, I sort of felt like it wasn't a person, though. Like, if I thought a motherfucker was standing in my kitchen, I would have grabbed a katana off of the bureau and fucking rushed it or something. But it felt like I don't know.
Are you good?
Yeah, joking. I felt like there was a ghost in the fucking kitchen. Like I was like, fuck, whatever's out there, I'm fucked. Like, I'm just waiting for it to come in. And
I ain't worried about fucking ghosts. They're ethereal and all this bullshit. Let me tell mine since you told yours. I worked at a steel mill for a long time. I've said it 1,000 times. But one time, so I came home at different times, depending on what shift I was.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one time I came home, and I reached up and touched the door. It's 11 o'clock at night now. There's nobody at the house. And I opened you know how you like jiggle the handle to see if it's locked, even though you know you locked it?
Yeah.
Well, the door was open.
Yeah. And you were sure that you didn't leave it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
So now I'm like, I didn't want to like scream hello.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing I do is go back to the truck and get my pistol.
Right. Like, hi, I'm here. Kill me.
Yeah. And like. Let me tell you, like I go through the whole house. I'm slowly making my way through the house. I'm like, okay, if somebody is in this house, they'd already confronted me at this point.
Yeah, you're cutting the pie around the corners and everything with you.
Yeah, but I'm still being cautious. I get to the master bedroom, and when I open the master bedroom, because there's like these, like how women keep these shoes, like draped on across the back of a closet door.
Yeah.
There's like a little pocket holders.
Yeah.
Well, I swing the door open, and these shoes make that dong-dong sound as soon as the door opens.
Did you jump through the fucking ceiling or what?
I ended up shooting a hole through the back of the closet.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I was like, oh, my.
You shot your closet?
Yeah.
Nobody called the police?
No, we still live in the
neighbors?
countryside. I live in the countryside, dude. I mean, me, Colin Woody set off a class 4 explosive in our backyard last New Year's, and nobody called the police.
Jeez. Don't worry about it. Go back to bed.
Well, we got my neighbors across the street target shoot. Neighbors beside me, they got a target shoot.
Yeah,
in
but
their
you said it
backyard.
was like 11 at night. I mean,
yeah.
If I hear a fucking gunshot go off at 11 at night in the next door neighbor's house, I'd probably call the cops.
Not I, said the fly. I'm like, oh, somebody's got some shit going down.
Yeah, they're serving up some South Carolina justice. That's all. Go back to bed.
Some shotgun diplomacy. Go ahead and turn it on the TV again.
Turn on the TV.
All right, guys. So that's pretty much Slenderman. We kind of got off track with our own.
What the fuck are we going to talk about for 15 minutes? Slenderman. It's just not even 5 years old. I think it would be a cool movie. It would be a cool movie. It would be better than watching people fake being scared on YouTube.
It'd be better than that. I can't remember the name of that movie to save my life. And come to think of it, Freddy Krueger had that Slenderman shit going on in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Hell yeah, the original one.
Yeah, where he stretches his arms out and he's like scraping his arms.
How sweet fresh meat.
Yeah,
I love his one-liners. Those were the best. Welcome to prime time, bitch.
Yeah, Freddy needs to. The character Freddy needs to go with Robert Englund.
Yeah.
That sounds like a purist, bullshit fucking guy. Like, the original's always. I don't try to be that guy that says the original's always the best.
I didn't even see the remake.
I didn't either because it didn't have Robert Englund in it.
Yeah.
Like
some things are better left not remade.
Robert Englund is Freddy Krueger to me, and like
That's right. Yeah.
But people don't know who Robert Englund is. He's the guy who plays Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, it's cool. 80s movies. Yeah.
But Chaos Theories, bitches. Check the description below. Rate, comment, and subscribe. Won't you subscribe to Chaos Math? He has a channel if you guys didn't know.
Yeah, get the hell over there. What are you people waiting for? But no, let us know what you guys want us to do next. And I mean, if you want us to keep doing fringe topics like this, we're going to keep doing it. But if you're going to say, well, you guys didn't even talk about them, like, I don't know. I don't know how we could have really deconstructed it much more. This one was really easy to just pinpoint exactly, like, oh yeah, some guy made it up on this website in 2009. So that one was tough for us to talk about too much. But like we said, we'll talk about whatever the fuck you guys want. So
it might end up somewhere else. So
yeah, well, yeah, I think by now they know to expect some sidetracks. So
I think that's what they like about it.
Yeah, that's right. All right, guys, thanks.